Welcome everybody to this webinar. I will start this webinar by saying hello to everybody from our AI Pioneers Network. My name is Ana Diaz, and I am working on TechMinho, that is an interface from Minho University in the north of Portugal. We have a project with many partners in Europe, and I will making a presentation very brief about AI pioneers first, and then I will pass the word to the colleagues from GRC. So let's just pumping this this presentation of the project. Our project, it's called AI Pioneers. We are in the second year of the project. And my name is, as I said, Ana Diaz. I'm a partner of the project. Lisa Meyer from University of Bremen is the coordinator of the project. So this is a presentation of both of us. She will be making some back office work on the chat. So first of all, let's see the objectives of the project. The project intends to make research and promote and evaluate the use of AI in adult and adult education and vocational education. We are supporting the development of new initiatives and projects that use AI. We establish already a network of AI pioneers, and we invite everybody that has experience with AI in education, vocational education and training, and adult education to join us and to share experiences. And we focus on policy, recommendations, toolkits, and ethical implementation of AI. These are the main objectives of the project. I can show you some slides with the main findings so far after this 1 year and some months of project activity. So we start with the production of a supplement to the DigiComp framework. This is a European framework for skills and competencies on education. We will see some more things about this DigiComp framework with our colleagues from GRC. But so what we did in this with this supplement is to add some competencies and needs for literacy in AI within this framework, the Compedu framework. So we have a document supporting this that is in our website. Then we made a list of different tools that are coming to the market on this AI. It's not exhaustive, as you know. It is every time evolving, and so we have this toolkit with many different tools to use for AI, and trying to specify their interest for the education sector. Our last element that we produce already is the evaluation schema. This is a schema for AI in education on data, privacy, ethics, and EU values. So it's a very important also finding from our project. I have put here just element to for everybody to understand what we produced about the evaluation schema. How to assess current AI use, AI maturity, and related AI ethical concerns, AI governance and monitoring, operational consideration, pedagogical considerations, and other considerations. So you can find in our website this framework. Then we have going on since almost the beginning of the project, a European reference network of AI pioneers. This is the slide is not correct, and it will go until the end of the project. So we started in 2023, developing a sustainable network of leading teachers and trainees that we are calling them pioneers. Pioneers in the sense of the DigComp Edu framework. So it's people that are taking the technology, using it and spreading it and showing to others. So those are the pioneers that are involved. We support the members of the network with knowledge and resources. And we develop also communities of practice in different countries. So I have a slide here about this COPs network of AI pioneers in each country. You promote in these countries and languages. So for Portuguese, German, Italian, Greek, for partners from Greece and Cyprus and Spain. We have different activities, webinars in local languages about the same issues on the use of AI. We promote the events that can promote the sharing of experiences and to provoke, let's say, more knowledge and insightful information on AI in vet education and adult education mostly. So we invite you to join our LinkedIn network if you are not in. Also, we will invite you to our website, aipioneers.org. And all the information is there. We have a blog, very active blog and a newsletter that you can subscribe. So please do. And now I will present the first slide of our colleagues from JRC in Seville. They will present on the topic of this webinar today, supporting the digital transformation of education and training through research. So our colleagues are César Herrero and Anastasia Economou, and I'm passing the word to César. Okay.
Yes, many thanks for the presentation and for the opportunity. I'm loading the presentation, but in the meantime, I would like to thank you for your kind invitation to be here with you all today and to briefly present our work in the field. So I'm César Herrero, and I'm here with my colleague Anastasia Economou, who will take over the presentation in a few moments. And our main goal is to present here today, very briefly, what we are doing in relation to digital transformation through research. Because I always like to start my presentation with this picture, because I think it's quite representative, because we as individuals, but also as society, we are facing different challenges, from migration to climate to energy, and digital transformation is also one of these challenges. So we are always overcoming challenges, improving ourselves and moving ahead. And that's why this stirs, it's like a kind of an analogy of this never-ending process that we are always improving ourselves and going ahead. But in order to do so, we need to, among other options, we need to equip citizens with the necessary skills and competencies to face these challenges. And also in order to achieve these objectives, we need initiatives and policies in this regard. And as you can imagine, when we are thinking of developing policies or initiatives, there is a clear need for evidence to support and to inform these policies. And that's why we are here. We are the Joint Research Center of the European Commission. We are known as the Science and Knowledge Arm of the European Commission. And our main mandate is to do research, to provide evidence to support the European Union and European Commission policies. This is our main mandate, producing evidence from research. We have these three main axes that I will go later on more details, anticipation, integration, and impact, which drives our work. So very quick, just to explain ourselves. Our headquarters are obviously in Brussels, but then we have different sites in Europe. And in our case, Anastasia and myself, we are in Seville, in the Spanish side. But we have other sites, and also inside our unit, there are people working in other sites. No, it's like a transnational institution. So, regarding anticipation, this is a kind of a foresight exercise. We are always trying to look ahead what's coming next in order to be as well prepared as possible. So one of our main axes is anticipation. We also have integration because, as we all know, there are many institutions, experts, agencies working on different topics. So in the end, there are many sources of information, and one of our main duties is to try to merge and to convert these different sources of information into one simple corpus of data, no? Like to connecting the dots of everything is there. And finally, impact, because one of our main goals, again, is to assess, to analyze the impact of the different policies. Because if we don't have this kind of information, if we don't assess, if we don't analyze the initiatives, we don't know if they are having a positive impact, a negative impact, or maybe nothing. So this is one of our main actions. For today, first, my colleague Anastasia is going to focus on digital competencies of educators. She is the project leader of DIFCON-EDU and SELFIE for Teachers. And in my case, I'm going to focus more on education and training. I'm project leader of SELFIE for Obvious Learning, and also the one in charge of the research on BED. So, Anastasia, please go ahead.
Thank you, Cesar, for this introduction. And thank you, of course, to the Pioneers for this invitation. I think it's great to see the work being done for educators, and of course for all the work on the transformation of education. So I'm really happy to share with you this afternoon and discuss with you what we do about educators' digital competence. And very aligned, I think, with the work that already is being done by AI Pioneers. So in this presentation, we will see a little bit what we do about supporting educators in general for their professional learning and development, using a self-reflection process and using an instrument that we developed for that purpose. And then how we are investigating different factors that and their implications on how such a process and the use of the instrument can help and support more effectively the development of the digital competence. And finally, we're going to discuss a little bit about the emerging technological and pedagogical trends, and mainly generative AI and the implications on educators' digital competence. So in the next slide, so if we go to the next slide, Cesar, thank you. You will see here that the digital competence of educators framework is our base of work for supporting educators. This framework was published in 2017 as part of the work of JRC on digital competence frameworks. In 2012, it was the first one on digital competence for citizens. Then we had the digital competence for organizations. And because of the specificities of the profession of educators, educator-specific competences were trying to be described in order to support education, especially the area of how educators, in addition to their competence as citizens, they should facilitate their learners' digital competence as well. A framework is a conceptual framework, a theoretical framework, and it can be used in different situations or in different settings, for different purposes. So, for example, it's being used in national strategies or national policies. It's being used in developing educational resources, professional development programs. So we see that there is a wide acceptance of Digicomet2 across Europe and internationally. And based on this, we wanted to see a more practical approach, how to use this framework, supporting teachers more practically for their professional learning and development. So based on the framework, the check-in tool was designed as a self-assessment tool. It was a testing tool, a beta version of the tool. And in 2021, under the Digital Education Action Plan, there was an action specifically saying that the European Commission would develop a self-reflection tool based on the Digicomet2 framework that is valid and reliable in order to support educators across Europe. So we had SELFIE for Teachers, designed based on the Digicomet2. So Digicomet2 was the benchmark to the self-assessment items of the teachers that they were going through this self-reflection process. And last year, we also adapted this to a version that is more specifically for early childhood educators and professionals. In the next slide, we try to find ways, professional learning approaches and methodologies that are more relevant to teachers and educators in general. We wanted to see how teachers can be actively engaged in their learning process, how they can design or co-design their own professional learning paths, and also how they can use their agency for their self-development and also to support others based on this whole learning process. And we based our work also from previous work on self-reflection. You know already the SELFIE for Schools, a web-based learning, I guess, instrument that we have based on self-reflection as well. So we consider self-reflection as a personal process that can deepen one's understanding. And of course, through this whole process, the person can have significant discoveries or insights. And you see here also the reference of literature on that can trigger the capacity to self-assess and improve. And we see also reflection and action based on this reflection as transformative learning. And in this relation, we see how we explored, actually we investigated how this can affect teachers' agency through the whole process. And we realized that also this transformative professional learning, it was important for teachers in understanding themselves in a new context. So based on this literature, we also try to investigate the different settings and factors that this whole process was into, and how and what were the implications for teachers as agents in the whole learning process for themselves. So in the next slide, I just want to say a bit more about our instrument, because as a research instrument, it has a purpose for research, but also for the teachers, it's also a practical tool to use during their whole professional practice. So we needed to explain how such a tool, it's not a survey, but it's a tool to support them individually and at a personal level. So in order to do that, the tool provides a personal report with feedback based on the self-reflection that the teachers went through and their results that they self-assessed themselves. At the same time, when the teachers shared these results, anonymized of course, the aggregated data of the whole tool can be used in order to support planning, and that can be at systemic level, institutional, regional, or even for a group of teachers. So these two aspects were very important in the design of the tool to support teachers at individual level. That's the main goal, because we wanted to investigate the professional learning process of the teachers, but also how aggregated data can support planning of professional development programs, based, of course, on the teachers' self-perceptions of their learning needs. In the next slide, you will see that we tried to explain that SELFIE for Teachers is not a survey, is not collecting data to analyze in relation to what is happening around the teachers, but it is about the self-reflection of themselves. And it's not an external evaluation, but a self-assessment process, a self-reflection process for them. And this is done by a guided self-reflection process. So the 32 items of the instrument, they guide, based on the DIGCOME2 framework, the teachers to self-assess their proficiency level through this critical self-reflection process. In the next slide, this is our first attempt that we try to investigate or to explore more correctly the different use cases of SELFIE for Teachers. So we have a SELFIE for Teachers expert network where we have participation from different stakeholders, from teachers to teacher trainers to policymakers to researchers. And through this expert network, we try to identify the different use cases and have implementations in order to explore, as I said, the different factors, enablers, even barriers that are there in order to support professional learning. These different use cases, they include, for example, the implementation of SELFIE for Teachers in a school. So the school leader would like to identify the needs of the teachers in the school and support them through this self-reflection process to develop further and based on their needs to develop different programs. Or another use case is using SELFIE for Teachers in a training program or a pre-service program in a teacher education program. So SELFIE for Teachers is being used in the beginning of the program to identify the needs, during the program to support the self-reflection, and at the end, again, to see the progress of each participant through the whole year of the program, if it is in a university program, for example. In the next not slide, but in the next pop-up, you will see that, if we go to another click, that we have already a use case implementation report where we present 15 practices in 10 different member states. And these include implementations by ministries of education, by training institutions and universities, for example. Based on these exploratory implementations, we proceeded in designing, in the next slide, please, a multi-case research study to investigate in a more scientific way the contextual factors, the enablers and barriers, and focusing as well at teachers' agency and efficacy. So this was done with a consortium of 6 universities in 6 member states. And with them, we designed the different cases and we implemented them and analyzed them, as I said, to investigate these contextual factors in different settings. In the next slide, you will see our research questions and some of the results, of the key results that we had with this consortium. So our research questions with many other sub questions underneath. The first one was looking at how teachers perceive SELFIE for teachers. And we have seen that most of them, they find it easy to use. But mainly for us, it was very important to see that they found it very useful for self-reflection and self-assessment of their professional competence on digital competence. And also that they consider it as a very useful instrument to support them develop and design their professional learnings towards their digital competence. So it was relevant to them. However, they identify, and we know that it requires time to complete and reflect. And we know that reflection is a process that needs time to be done if done seriously in order to have the results to support self-development. Then we try to analyze how can teachers' agencies' self-efficacy in their digital competence it can be supported through SELFIE for Teachers. And here we have seen that indeed with the SELFIE for Teachers, teachers were going through the self-reflection. They were able to increase their self-awareness of their digital competence. And also, it helped them to, through scaffolding, of course, to take action and be more actively engaged in their professional development programs. So they were not just attending a professional learning activity, but they were actively engaged in it. Something I think that was interesting to see here is that even though teachers were acknowledging that this was requiring time and energy from them, at the end they knew that this was very helpful for them and their development. And then we, in our third research question, we try to see what are the main reported personal, institutional, and systemic challenges to teachers' agency to act upon the SELFIE for Teachers feedback. And we have seen, actually aligned with the literature as well, a lot of personal challenges, mainly lack of time and availability to do such exercises, and also institutional challenges, and really challenges that we thought that at this time we wouldn't have, like lack of equipment, for example, or technical support, and as well systemic challenges, and mainly curricular pressures. So the curriculum or the assessment of during the school was not aligned with what they would expect with the use of digital technologies. And finally, about the main conditions and enablers for the effective use of SELFIE for Teachers, a very, very powerful suggestion from the teachers was to situate SELFIE for Teachers in experiential, practice-oriented, and scaffolded professional development programs. So they realize that they need support in order to go through such a process, and they would like to see SELFIE for Teachers being used in more standardized or even more systematic professional development programs. So we saw that even though they were actively engaged when they had the scaffolding or when they had the support, they were not as when they had to do it on their own. And also the school leader I think I lost connection for a while. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, sorry. Finally, something that was also there to see is the localization and personalization of feedback. Even though there is a feedback report that responds based on the teachers' responses, they even wanted more adaptation and more personalization of this feedback, and with specific links. And here we see, and we're discussing actually with the consortium, that AI has a role as well. So imagine an AI agent embedded in the SELFIE for Teachers and how this can be more personalized. In the next slide. So as I mentioned, in addition to the feedback that a teacher gets, the personal feedback that is only for him or her, which is nobody else can see, the teacher can agree to share anonymized statistical data, and this aggregated data can be used in planning of professional development programs. And we had last year an implementation in 2 countries, in Albania and North Macedonia, where we had a representative sample. We used SELFIE for Teachers, and based on the aggregated data, the national education stakeholders, they used this data to analyze what the self-perception of the teachers in these countries was about their digital competence, and to plan professional development programs based on that. And something that was really interesting in this implementation is that we see again that one of the barriers is time for the teachers, and this would minimize their interest because they had other obligations during the school calendar to do, especially with the curriculum. And also, in some cases, the leadership was considered very, very, very important in order to do such a professional learning activity. And based on the results, of course, it was very useful for the national stakeholders to identify specific areas where the teachers thought that they needed more support. And even though most of the teachers were at the level of B1, based on the SELFIE for Teachers level, they had also a big percentage of teachers that they were lower, especially in some specific items, as for example, emerging trends, or computational thinking, or well-being. So this will introduce to the next slide, where I want to present a little bit what we aimed when we transferred the theoretical framework of digital Medu to a more practical approach for SELFIE for Teachers. So when we analyzed the 22 competences of the framework, we tried to bring on the surface competences that were more relevant, especially after COVID, and especially with the emerging technologies. And so we developed 32 self-reflection items responding to these 22 competences. So you will see that in the SELFIE for Teachers, you have items that they also refer to online learning environments, especially management of data and ethical considerations, digital life, and also ethical considerations as well, but well-being as well, and safety, computational thinking, emerging technologies, including AI, blended learning, and also for the students, the 6th area, again, safety and well-being as an additional item to support the teachers. And for each one of these self-reflection items, the teachers can choose their proficiency level from A1 to C2, like in the DigCom2 framework. So from a newcomer to the pioneer, and this is starting from a more personal, a more practical, to a more institutional and in more depth and sharing with others. In the next slide, the Set for Teachers was designed and developed in 2020, 2021. And we know that at the end of 2022, we had this explosion of AI with the introduction of the ChatGPT, and how this has a lot of implications on teachers' competence as well, on educators' competence. And we know that the Nditshkomedu framework from 2017 doesn't address very explicitly competences that generative AI and even other emerging technologies, and not only technologies but also pedagogies, are needed. So what we're trying to do now is to understand and align educators' digital competence with current and emerging pedagogical and technological trends, and more specifically with generative AI. And why more specifically? Because we think that AI and generative AI, it cross-cuts all of the areas and items of and competences of Nditshkomedu. We cannot think about now about online environments without AI in it, or virtual worlds, or computational thinking and robotics. So we see AI in all these aspects, and we see that an update of these competences are needed transversally in all of them, but also vertically as maybe new competences are needed. DG EAC would like to do an update of the Nditshkomedu, but we don't know yet what timeline they have for that. But luckily, like AI pioneers, also there are other groups and like the expert working group at DG EAC who analyze Nditshkomedu in the terms of AI guidelines, and also a squad in the Digital Education Hub that they also analyze Nditshkomedu based on the generative AI. So there is already a lot of work, as well as UNESCO's specific framework on AI. So we try to analyze reports as of 2022, published by European Commission bodies and other international organizations like the OECD, the United Nations, UNESCO, the International Association of the Evaluation of Educational Achievement with ICLS, for example, and also from the Department of Education in the United States. So we reviewed these documents, these reports, and we analyzed them through 6 thematic areas. I will not go through them now because I think I am running out of time. But what we found out about through this analysis, if we go to the next slide, is that there is an urgency to rethink educators' digital competence and their role in relation to generative AI. And there is a focus in all this, in all that work, and I hope that we can discuss as well your findings in your report of Nditshkomedu and AI, that there is a focus on the regulation, but towards a human-centered approach. And it's important to protect human rights and support human agency. And it was really important to see how there were a lot of references in the interaction between humans, but also humans and computers and machines, and how this interaction in a development or learning cycle is important to have the human agency. and human agency to be supported by self-reflection and self-regulation. So I think that this is very important to see that we are going back to self-regulation, to agency, to self-reflection, in order to be able to have an active and critical role in the whole interaction path with generative AI agents, for example. There's also a strong reference to education and lifelong learning to support individuals in order to require build the competence in an AA-oriented society and economy, and we know that this is the case now. And once again, the educator's role is recognized as a key factor for the preparation of the future citizens. And this is quite important because we don't aim to support educators' digital competence only for them. We support them in order for them to be able to prepare the new citizens in their new roles in this new society that we are encountering. So these are the first ideas, which of course they will provide a base for discussion and for DGAC to proceed with the DigiCom2 framework. So thank you, and I'm looking forward to a discussion and questions about this work. Back to you, Cesar.
Thank you, Anastasia. Now we are going to change the topic to vocational education and training. Wait a moment. Here, very quick, this is the main part of my presentation. First, very quick, I'm going to present the tool that we have available for education and vocational education and training, findings from the research done, and the upcoming line of work that is about to start. Regarding the tool, it is the same rationale and processes that the one explained by Anastasia. In this case, this is a whole school approach. So it's a tool to support the reflection of the whole school community. So it's a kind of a questionnaire, scientifically validated. There is one specific for teachers, for school principals, for students, and also for in-company trainers if we are talking about work-based learning environment. It's very important to mention that this tool is totally free. It's available in all EU languages and beyond. Since its launch in 2018, we are around 7 million users. And here are the links. So if you want to try, this is fully available for all educational levels, from except university levels, no? So all the general ones. So here I'm going to present the main findings from two main studies. One is relating to enablers of the digital transformation of VET, and the other study is on emerging trends and technologies in VET. Okay, if we go to the first one, which was titled Enables for the Digital Transformation of VET, this study, the main goal was to identify key drivers for the digital transformation of the VET sector. And in order to do so, we have 4 stages or steps. First, we did a review of academic and real literature on the topic to extract these more theoretical components. Then we did an identification of ongoing initiatives on the field. I mean, projects or policies or initiatives focused on supporting the digital transformation of the sector. We did an identification process, and then we analyzed in more depth, if I'm not mistaken, about 19 initiatives. Then we combine this more theoretical information with these findings from research to try to do like a comparative analysis, and then we validate all the results in a final workshop that we have in Seville. So in the end, after this work, we have identified this 8 enables framework to support the digital transformation of the sector. I'm going to go very briefly through each of them because we are about to publish the report in the coming weeks, hopefully. So once it is published, I will share it with you, and you will have more opportunities to go into detail. But in any case, these 8 elements are supposed to be drivers for the digital transformation of the vet sector. So regarding career education and guidance, in a nutshell, digital technologies can be a clear or a key component to support the career guidance, no? Because we can use, we are allowed to use more personalized data. We can have actions data driven to support learners. So digital technologies can enhance and improve the career education process. Then we have the development of information system. Here it is clear to say that there is a lack of available information about the other ongoing initiatives or about other policies or about other resources. So it's very difficult sometimes to reach to the impact assessment of other initiatives to see what's working or what is not working. So here, with the support of digital technologies, it will be more feasible and easier to get access to this information, and at the same time, these digital technologies can support this information system and also to share it and change the information. Then we have like an enable the ecological approach and collaboration. Here, when we speak of an ecological approach, we are referring to develop a systemic framework that promotes interconnection among the different actors and stakeholders. It can be public actors, private actors, administration, different agencies. So the goal here is to support this kind of collaboration among different actors. Then we have flexible accreditation mechanisms. Here we are referring to having different systems for the accreditation of competencies, of skills. And here we are highlighting, for example, the micro-credentials or the digital badges. No, it can be a complement. No, we are not thinking of substituting or replacing traditional methods. No, this is just a more complementation. No, in order to maybe this kind of actions, micro-credential, digital badge, can be more useful for specific skills demand from the labor market because they are more agile, more flexible. So it can be something that can be introduced in the accreditation system. Then we have the holistic development of learning skills. Here, obviously, it's important not only to focus on the digital skills or on the technical skills. Indeed, it's more relevant and more useful to have like a holistic approach in which we develop different skills, the digital skills, the technological skills, but also transversal skills, no, such as the so-called soft skills. If you go to the next enable is inclusion and sustainability. And here the point is we not only have to focus on the employment part, but also on the environmental part. So it's important to develop projects and skills and initiatives that are useful for the employability, but also relevant for the environmental or sustainability issues. And digital technologies can play a key role here. Then, regarding pedagogical and transformative potential of digital technologies, it is obvious to say that the educational landscape is being transformed by the digital technologies. So we need to be able to support this transformation process. And in order to do so, we need to equip not only teachers, but also learners with the necessary digital skills and digital competence to face this technological evolution and to be up to date to what is needed in society and also in the labor market. So in this regard, teacher training for changing roles. No, I think the role of teachers in general is evolving from a more traditional just transmitter of information to a variety of roles, no? Because now they are more mentors, guides, they are curriculum designers. So we need to support teachers in this movement to different roles. So here, the second study, the title was Emerging Technologies and Trends in VET. And here, the goal was to try to identify what is the impact or what technologies are impacting now or going to impact in the near future to vocational education and training, to see if some potential policy action is required in the near future. So in order to do so, we again did a literature review on the topic. Then we analyze some VET Erasmus projects, but also some COVID initiatives. And we selected these two sources of information because they are very relevant sources, no? Because both the VET, the Erasmus Plus project, and the COVID initiatives are a kind of initiatives in which a lot of VET institutions are exploring new ways of teaching, or they are exploring new sources or new training. So they can be a good source of information about institutions who are trying to move ahead in different fields, including the digital transformation process. And finally, with all the preliminary findings, we consulted with some experts to validate them and to try to have a final report with the main findings. Here, it's important to say that this work was based on a previous work. This is the title of the final report of the work on the future of technology in education. This was a foresight exercise in which we try to see what are the different trends and technologies that are affecting or going to affect education in general in the near future. And we identified 6 major trends or technologies. First, as you can see in the slide, we have the 6G networks, which will support the development of virtual worlds, extended reality, to merge the physical with the digital worlds. No, it's something that is already here. Then the digital credentials, no, the role to be played by micro-credential, digital badge. And also the use of data in education, no? Because now with the impact of digital technologies, it's possible to have data not only from the final results of the students, but also from the process. So this data can be used to further improve the teaching and learning process, and also the use of learning analytics. And finally, the impact, as we all know, the impact of AI and artificial and generative AI in education, no? Which is clearly transforming the way education is evolving. So based on this work, we identify a series of trends at different levels. So first, as you can see here, we are at the meta level, and we identify 3 impacts of the digital technologies here. First, it's obvious to say, no, that with the impact of these technologies, there is a fusion between the digital and the physical world. The humans are interacting with the digital world, no? They are co-creating, interacting, merging in ways that wasn't expected before. So here, in this trend, technologies like 6G, virtual worlds, extended reality, artificial intelligence are playing a key role. Then there is also a potential trend, no? That technology as a threat to cognitively based occupations, because we all know that previously with the automation, some more manual activities can be replaced by technology. But now, especially with the impact of generative AI or just AI in general, there is a major threat to some jobs that can be cognitively based jobs that can be replaced by, at least partially, by artificial intelligence. And finally, we have the increasing importance of soft skills, no? Because there is a change in the nature of work, there is a change in the type of skills that are needed in the labor market. And also here, it is seen that there is a clear shift towards a bigger demand of transversal competencies or soft skills competencies. So it's something that, for example, critical thinking, teamwork, collaboration, blah, blah, blah. Some these kind of transversal skills that are being higher on demand. If we go to a lower level, what we call a macro level, no, it's bed systems and policies, we see the following four mega trends. First, we can see that there is a clear link between globalization, technologies, and skills need. No, there is a major shift in skills demand in the labor market, and there is a clear need to better understand what is this shift about. No, what are the skills that are more needed now in the labor market in order to act accordingly. Then we have also the impact of open educational practice. It is necessary to say that this is not something new. This is something from the 2000. But now that the learning is making more open, there are some also considerations about the quality of the open educational resources and also how to better embed this into the formal education. In this regard, also, it is fully linked, no, the development of blockchain as a new forms of credentials, because also the growth in micro-credentials and digital badge is something that is happening in the last years, but also as well as with the open educational resources, there is some kind of issue with the quality. But at least with the blockchain model, there is a way to verify and ensure that the security and reliability of this kind of credentials. So it's something positive and is supporting the development of new credentials. And of course, as I think this is something quite known, no? There is a kind of relation or issues about how to manage the new relationship between the public and private funding projects and initiatives, because with the expansion of the technology, there is a boom in the emerging of EdTech market. So, and also they have a role to be played, but we need to think and to reflect about how to combine this kind of public and private collaboration. If we go to the meso level, we are speaking about the school level management, no? And here there is a trend about how to be more efficient and more effective management of learners and teachers. No, we need to understand how to better understand and promote the collaboration between teachers and learners and technology. No, digital technologies can play a key role here, and also we can take advantage of the potential digital technologies for the teaching and learning process. So it's something to be taken into consideration. And also because as we all know, maybe the collaboration between, if we are speaking about better institution and work-based learning modalities, the collaboration, the communication between the better institution and the training company is not always a very easy process. So it's important that we take advantage of digital technologies to improve this communication and this collaboration, no? Because it's also important to collect data from the work placement and also to agree and to discuss how to move ahead in the training design. No? So not only the institution, but also the workplace can discuss and propose ideas on objectives for the learning. And finally, if we are speaking about the micro level, we are talking about the classroom, no? the teaching practice. In here, as Anastasia also mentioned, there is a clear trend to make BED more learner-centric, no? to have or to put the student in the center and to design and the training and all the processes towards a more learning-centric approach. Then we have the personalized learning. So here there is big opportunity to make or to have a more personalized approach to learning, no? Because we have different technologies such as the intelligent tutoring systems or open learning models in which we can provide a more specific and more tailored educational to meet the individual needs of each student. Then at the same time, digital technologies can provide with more with a better simulation of workplace or work environments in a more safer approach. So, for example, here the extended reality, virtual walls, they can offer more immersive experiences. They can replicate in a safer way some work environments. So in this way, they can provide more practical and immersive experiences. And obviously, regarding assessment, also very, very clear to say that we can take advantage of the possibilities for assessment from digital technologies, no? And also to become more learning-centric, more individual, and to collect more relevant data for each students. So in the end, conclusions from this study, it's very important to say the first thing, no? Because we are facing similar challenges or similar obstacles that in the past when facing changes, no? So it's not something totally new, but maybe it's getting more acute than in the past. But in a way, it's something already known. In addition to that, there is a clear need to combine research and collaboration in order to develop the innovation and to foster innovation in VET. No, it's always necessary to combine not only initiatives and policies, but also evidence from research in order to support and to further development the innovation in VET. Also, this is a key aspect that one of our major findings is that there is a widening gap between the digital walls outside and inside education. No? This is something fully clear that maybe in educational context, this is a much more limited and restricted digital environment. But at the same time, learners and students are enjoying, if you allow me to say that, a more open and unlimited digital world outside the educational context. It's something that is going to get bigger and bigger in the near future unless we take any action on this regard. And finally, it's important to understand the relationship between teachers and technology, how to better support the teachers' needs, how to better take advantage of digital technologies for teaching, and this kind of relation. And as always, although digital technologies can promote inclusion in a way, at the same time, there is also a risk to increase the digital divide regarding the access to these digital technologies, no? Because in some cases, in some countries, in some regions, in some institutions, they will have more opportunities to access these new digital technologies, whereas in others, it's not the case. So in this regard, we need to pay attention to that. And finally, before I finalize my presentation, this is the new focus of our research, and I think it's quite clear, no? Also, your project is also called AI Pioneers. So AI is fundamental, is crucial. We need to better understand everything related to it. And in this case, we are going to focus on how to better integrate AI in VET delivery. And why in VET? Because VET is very high in the European agenda in the last years, but also because VET is maybe the educational sector which is receiving the biggest impact from any change in the economy, in the workplace. So we need to be supporting VET in order to support the students, the learners, the teachers to be up to date in relation to the demands from the labor market and also from the skills demands from the labor market and economy. So that's why we are going to focus on this educational stage. In order to do so, we are going to analyze existing initiatives, any kind of initiatives in which they are integrating AI in VET delivery, because our focus is to understand what is there, what is working, what is not, no? Try to understand the different use cases, try to get the insights, the barriers, the enablers, the challenges, in order to have a more clear idea and to better understand how is a successful way to integrate AI in VET delivery. And with all this information, our goal is to try to provide some recommendations for the integration of AI in vet delivery. And with this, we would like to thank you for your attention. Here you have my email and also Anastasia's email, just in case you would like to go deeper into any kind of topic or any issue. And I think that's all from my side, and many thanks for your attention, and happy to reply to any question, if any, and also if we are able to do it, because not always is the case. Many thanks for your time.
Thank you, Cesar and Anastasia, for this deep presentation with all the work that is going on JRC, and it was really massive information and the knowledge that we could get from your presentation. I will return the word to the floor. We have a question on the chat. If you want, you can put your questions on the chat. And the question was from Giedre. I think you have already replied in a way to these questions. What areas and the future research that you believe are crucial in terms of the use of to ensure educators are equipped with the necessary competencies to adapt this to their practice, let's say. I know that you have already put some in your slides some info on this, but I don't know if you want to develop and a little bit more on this.
Yes, if I may, in the meantime,
Yeah.
so Anastasia, please complement with anything you consider. But in our case at the moment, also due to our internal organization, because there are different units covering different topics, but in our case, we are more on the digital part. Now we are focusing especially on anything related to AI, to social implication of AI, digital skills related to AI, what are the change in the occupations due to AI impact. So this is a clear focus for us now and in the near future. So anything related to the social implications of AI is one of our major topics. How it's affecting education, how it's affecting training, how it's affecting the educators' competencies, what are the digital skills related to AI. So this is fully one of our main focus. Indeed, in our team is also our major framework, which is DIPCOM, the European Digital Competence Framework for Citizens, and we are working now in a new update in which AI is also having a clear role. So just to let you know that this is for sure. Then we have also, for example, not fully related to the topic of today, but also to let you know that digital well-being is something also crucial for us, how the impact of digital technology is affecting how we feel, how we behave, so what we understand as well-being, but in the digital part, not only in education, but in society. And also, one of our major topics is emerging trends in general, in which AI is included, but also virtual worlds is something that we are now focused on. When we speak of virtual worlds, it's the European Commission concept for extended reality, virtual world reality, and this kind of immersive environments. So this is our three main field of research in the team by now, and I think we have a lot of. It's a big field for us.
Yeah, it is. I see a question also from George. George, can you put your question by by talking.
Okay, I'll do it. Recently has been UNESCO has done, from my side, great work and published different skills frameworks that seems that are being adopted by a lot of organizations globally. How do you plan to embrace these frameworks, or you are going to develop something that is different? Because in the past, we had the UNESCO's skills framework for digital skills, and we had the DigiComp2 framework. That's my question.
Maybe I can start this time. Actually, I was responding to before to the question by Ingidre on the lines of research, but I think Cesar already gave a more global idea of what we're doing. Just to add that now we have a move of our direction towards more to societal impact, and of course education is key element for society, but we are extending a little bit our research into society as well. So for example, we'll be looking at lifelong learning, and not only formal education, or for young people as well. So all the areas that Cesar mentioned already are there. And of course, this new scheme of interaction among generative AI agents and individuals is something that's really worth investigating more, especially in these whole cycles of learning. In relation to the UNESCO framework, of course, as George said already, the first framework by UNESCO about the teachers' professional, let's say, skills on digital education. They were mentioning ICT skills for teachers, as well as other frameworks, because at the time that DigiComp2 was being developed, you had the ISTE, for example, standards from the US. You had from France. There were already a number of frameworks, and each framework was identifying their own ontology in terms of how to group the skills into areas, and then on how to see the progression level for each of these skills. And the colleagues that were working at that time to develop DigiComp2, they encompass all of those. So they try to identify the main trends, and had a lot of consultations with experts. So I think the importance of DigiComp2 is that it was the outcome not only of literature review and discussions, but also validation by expert groups and stakeholders across Europe. So we think that this is very important. And of course, now we are very well aware, we are analyzing the UNESCO AI frameworks, both for teachers, but also for students that they have, along with other work that we have already seen that it's being done. We know that OECD also does a lot of work, the Council of Europe. So there is a lot of work around it. And in the next update of the framework, of course, all these will be taken into consideration, again, with the consultations of the experts. Already, as Cesar says, there is such a consultation for the DigiComp for citizens. And of course, the UNESCO AI framework for students is taken into consideration as well. So I think, Cesar, that the plan is to have the new version of DigiComp for citizens by the end of 2025. So so hopefully we will be able to discuss more about that during this year.
Thank you, Anastasia. I hope that you take also in consideration the work we have done in this project with the supplement.
Yes, indeed.
Will be great for us for the impact of the project.
I think it would be a shame not to, So.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Anastasia, Cesar. Is there any other questions from the audience for our invited people, please?
Well, it's just one quick one, which it won't totally have a quick reply, but I liked very much the description of the pedagogic approach towards reflection, and agency, and the connection of agency, because research into agency has been left out of vocational education training for too long, or has been there. But we do have a contradiction going here, don't we? Because on pedagogical research into AI, of which there's in education, which there's a lot emerging recently of serious research, suggests that a big issue with using AI in education is it reduces agency. And I think that's a problem, and it's a problem we've got to look at. And I suggest that I'm quite encouraged by the report that the European Commission's going to actually start developing open source AI itself, and I hope that's true, and they're putting some money into this. But I'm afraid that the large software companies probably have less of an issue with increasing agency, or at best not understanding pedagogic research. We'll be generous. At worst, are actually seeing that education is a big market for their technologies, especially companies like OpenAI, who are overtly saying we can make millions out of this, and are going to reduce the agency available. And I think that's an issue. I don't have any answers, but I think it's an issue how we address that from a research and development point of view. I think we need to.
If I may comment on this, I think this is an excellent point, and I think that there are always conflicts, and especially as you say with data companies, and as education is a major market for them. However, I think there is some optimism, I would say, in the analysis that we have done, that it's very well underlined that there should be a focus on the regulation of the use of AI towards a human-centered approach. And I think that this is very important, protecting human rights and supporting human agency. And saying this, I believe that we cannot let everything on the, I would say, autopilot of AI, and we have to reconsider a lot of things. And we know that there are a lot of discussions about this, and I think that there should be more research about it as well, to support with evidence what we mean. This whole cycle of interaction, where human agents should be present or not. I mean, there are parts that indeed AI can be supportive and helping a lot, gaining time and do some routines. However, there are parts that this cannot be done, and I mean, to our perception at least. So I think that we need more research and evidence based on that, and of course to a human-centered approach of technology. I don't know if Cesar wants to add anything, especially for VET.
Yes, no, I think in my view also agency is getting more and more crucial if we are facing these emerging technologies that are able or capable of doing many things. I think if we are speaking about education, teacher agency, but if not, in general, human agency is getting more and more relevant when we are facing these technologies, powerful technologies that are able to do many tasks. No? So I think in any case, agency must play a key role, because it's when you decide who is doing what. No, if you are doing the task, or you are supported by the technology, or technology is taking over this task. So I think in any case, human agency is going to play a key role in the coming years. No, I think.
Thank you, thank you. We have 5 more minutes for our webinar to close. I don't know if there is any other question from the floor. Anyone?
Yes, maybe me. Cesar and Anastasia, thank you very much for your nice and interesting presentation. I have just, maybe a last question for you. You talked about teacher training and their changing roles, and I was wondering how do you think will the role of vet teachers and trainers evolve regarding the use of AI, focusing on their role in organizations at the meso level, and often missing concepts on the use of AI from vet schools?
Yes, many thanks, Lisa. Indeed, this is something which is for us is a key topic, no? Because it is clear that the roles of the teachers are changing, the emerging technologies are emerging, no? If you allow me to duplicate the word, and AI is getting a key role, no? So that's why our focus is trying to better understand the social implications of technologies in general, but AI in particular, no? Because we would like to better understand what are the implications of this technology, what are the change in the skills needed, also what are the demands from the labor market. So in the end, I think, and this is one of the recommendations that we have from the first study that we developed, that it should be a kind of alignment between the vet training and the labor market on the industry needs. No, what are the skills that are more on demand from the labor market, and maybe how the curriculum can be adapted to deal with these emerging or on-demand skills, but always within a limit, no? Because for sure there is many other things rather than the skills demand for the labor market. But in the end, I think this kind of collaboration between the vet sector and the company and the economy sector is crucial, no? To better define what are the current and future demands in terms of skills and in general, in order to better align the training to accomplish these needs, no? But at the moment, we are now trying to better understand what are the things to come, no, in the near future. But for sure, this is something that can be useful, no, to collaborate between the vet institution and the economy sector in order to identify the skills demand. And AI is not only a demand, but also a tool to support the development of some skills, no? So at the same time, I think AI is playing different roles, or is taking different hats, because it can be a goal itself, but also a tool to support the development of other skills or competencies. So I think we have an interesting time in front of us, no, in this regard.
Yes, I think so too. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you all for this event. Thank you. Special thanks to Cesar and Anastasia for this wonderful afternoon that we have, with lots of knowledge and content for thought. I would like to just tell the audience that if you have a project or knowledge to share, please contact us. We are open to have webinars like this discussing these topics on AI in education, in vet, and in adult education. So consider us as a platform for sharing also your knowledge, being part of this reference network on AI pioneers. So just to say goodbye in the name of our consortium and our team, and thank you very much for your participation today. See you next event. Okay. If you need something, just contact us via LinkedIn, via our emails, or via our website. Okay, thank you very much.